Not so long ago, Dominique Strauss-Kahn was the likely future president of France. Now almost the whole world knows about his sexual predilections. But does France care?
I think that a lot of people think it's just awful, this man is awful, but maybe it was not so important, maybe he could have been a great president.
Feminists are outraged. The thing is, we're not surprised. Because of what we know about this country. It's considered normal to go to prostitutes.
Dominique Strauss-Kahn's latest courtroom drama sees him and 13 others accused of aggravated pimping. DSK denies the charges. How could he know some of the women he slept with at swingers' parties were prostitutes, he said, when they were naked? Naked and in some cases allegedly abused. 2 prostitutes gave evidence he forced them to have anal sex against their will.
Ce qui était le plus choquant, c'était des rapports éventuellement brutaux de Dominique Strauss-Kahn avec ses partenaires et les rapports de sodomie qui ont choqué beaucoup.
Also on trial, Dodo the Pimp, as he's known, who denies providing prostitutes for the champagne-soaked parties. He invited Newsnight into one of his Belgian brothels and dismissed suggestions that when DSK described women as equipment in a text, it was derogatory.
Je m'exprime aussi un peu comme ça. Et même dans ma parole, si je dis c'est une pute, c'est pas du tout péjoratif. Moi, j'ai autant d'estime pour les filles qui travaillent chez moi que pour une fille qui est un métier ordinaire. Au contraire, j'ai plus d'estime pour elles parce qu'elles gagnent beaucoup mieux leur vie et elles ont moins de contraintes.
As head of the IMF, the job was global and so were the sex parties. They took place in Lille's Hermitage Gantois, as well as in Paris, Belgium and America. DSK never denied attending soirées libertines in places like this hotel in Lille. Perhaps 4 times a year, he met up with some of his co-defendants for sex parties with women he says he assumed were just sexually free like him. And in all likelihood, tomorrow the judge will accept that version of events.
Au fur et à mesure des débats, l'opinion avait tendance un peu à se retourner et à dire finalement, il ne s'est rien passé d'extraordinaire. C'est condamnable sur le plan moral, c'est condamnable, c'est pas bien, c'est pas ce que je recommanderais à ma fille, à ma sœur, etc., etc. Mais ça n'est pas pénalement répréhensible.
Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Step up, Mr. Kahn. Stand right here, take the judge's seat.
Dominique Strauss-Kahn's sexual proclivities first emerged in a New York courtroom. Charges of the attempted rape of a hotel worker were later dropped and he settled a civil case. Many in France felt their man had been badly treated, that the problem was America's puritanical attitude to sex.
What most people said, they said it would have been stifled in France. He would not have been arrested because people know of the complicity of the allowances that we make for rich and powerful people. In fact, what happens is impunity. Impunity from the police, impunity from the justice, impunity from the media. Powerful men will not be convicted.
Monsieur le Président. Monsieur le Président.
Traditionally, sex scandals haven't touched French politicians. Giscard d'Estaing had affairs, so did Jacques Chirac. The Republic sees private lives as sacrosanct. An energetic president is healthy for the country, many think. President Mitterrand even had an illegitimate daughter with minimal scrutiny. All well and good, unless that privacy ideal becomes protection from exposure of more troubling behaviour. Christine Delphi's feminist pedigree is impeccable. She even set up a publication with Simone de Beauvoir.
Who has privacy? You know, actually it's males who want to do whatever they want in their own home, in their own family, in their own hotel room, in their own whatever. So it's really defense of entitlement, of undue entitlement, but they don't see it as undue.
The blurred lines between sex and power were laid bare in a letter published recently in France. 40 female political journalists collectively outlined the kind of sexism they regularly encounter from male politicians.
C'est un député qui nous accueille par un sonore. Ah, mais vous faites le tapin, vous attendez le client?
An MP greets one of us with a shout. Ah, so you're streetwalking now, you're waiting for a client.
Dans une usine visitée aux pas de course.
On a factory visit, one minister laughs at us wearing the mandatory blue overalls and suggests that it would be better if you had nothing on underneath.
Dans le huis clos d'un bureau de député.
In the cramped office of one MP, his advances only stop when threatened with a harassment lawsuit. I may be looking at this through rose-tinted spectacles, but I don't think British politicians could get away with this kind of thing anymore.
In France, maybe you have quite a tolerance to sexism because men say, okay, it's the seduction à la française, as we sometimes say, and saying that it belongs to our culture. It's not only 2, 3, 5 male politicians who are particularly sexist. It's really something that we see all the time.
C'est sclérosé la société en France. Sclérosé, hein. Surtout avec un discours féministe comme il y a actuellement au gouvernement avec Madame Belkacem. Bon, elle a oublié que Golda Meir, elle n'a pas entendu le féminisme pour exister. Hein.
A brothel owner is rarely a feminist, but Dodo's co-defendant operated at the top levels of power. His fall from grace shone a light on what can happen behind closed doors. Whatever the judge decides, perhaps France will retain its attachment to privacy, but with more awareness that it's open to abuse.